Hello, hello. Good evening. Hello, everyone. Yes, everyone is just getting the notifications. I can see. So, welcome. Hello, who's there? I can see there are a couple of people that have joined us already. Hello, Chinwe. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Eka, good evening. How are you? Good evening. Joy, good evening. Thank you for joining. It's going to be an interesting one today. I know you've had an eventful day today and a very fulfilled one because you had Dr. Sunday and Otumba earlier, twice in fact. And now you've got Dr. Sunday and somebody else already, you know. So it's an exciting day today. Wow. You've had 3 interviews with Dr. Sunday and with great men as well. So here we go. We're going to have another interview today with Dr. Sunday and Emmanuel Aigbehi. So guys, you know who he is already. I know a lot of you are excited already. I can see the thumbs up. Hello, Innocent. Hello, Adeosun. Good evening. Hello, Dr. Chris, or Pastor Chris, I should say. Charles, good evening. Thank you for joining. Hello, Daniel. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Thank you, Jane. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Fumi. Hello, Goody. Thank you for joining. Thank you all. I appreciate you. Please share this. You know how you do it. We do it 3 ways. Number 1, you can share by just putting it onto your page by just pressing on share. And another way is by tagging. What do you do when you tag? You use the same symbol that you use to write your email as a tag symbol and the person's name without any space. So that's how you tag. And another way is inviting people individually. So please do that now so that more people can join and listen to the wisdom of this lovely, should I say no, wise young man, if I can say that. Okay. Kende, good evening. Idoring, good evening. Thank you for joining. Guys, I want to remind you that you can get Dr. Sunday's you can get all Dr. Sunday's material on YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official. And if you want materials in written format, you can also get that on his website, which is sundayadelajablog.com. That's sundayadelajablog.com. So I'm just giving you all the details right now so that when we get started, you can just focus on this. Hello, Victor. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Oriyomi. Thank you, Kende, Idoring. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all. Hello, Ife. How are you? Thank you for joining. Thank you, Julie. Thank you all. So I will wait for a little bit while so that everybody can share with as many people as possible. I haven't seen anyone tag. I repeat, you can tag by using the symbol that you use for your email and the person's name without any space. And Facebook will usually populate the names for you. So do so now because they'll get a mention and a notification and they'll be able to join us. It's going to be an interesting one, as I said earlier, because we're having Dr. Sunday and Dr. Aroms Emmanuel here. Yes, Aroms Emmanuel Aigbehi here. You know him already. He was in HMT. You all had such an insightful information from him. Lots and lots of information. I know some of you have even emailed me about his material and what he does. So here we are. We're having an interview with him and Dr. Sunday together. So, guys, okay. Hello, Faith. Oh, Faith is saying, I am becoming addicted to DSA's teaching. I owe no one any apologies for that. He speaks wisdom, unadulterated. Yes. Well done, Faith. Good one. So while you are learning and you're getting addicted, Faith, why don't you share this with many other people so that they can also learn and you can have a world where there are people that are wise and have unadulterated, in your own words, information. Do so now, and that goes to everyone else as well. Please share this. I'm going to turn the camera shortly. So one more time, let us all share, please. Thank you. Okay. All right, sir. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening,
sirs. Okay, we've got Dr. Sunday here and Aroms Emmanuel, Dr. Aroms Emmanuel. I feel so comfortable with Aroms, so I tend to say Aroms at times, but his real title or proper title is Dr. Aroms Emmanuel Aigbehi. Okay, guys, I'll start with you, Aroms.
Right.
When did you guys meet? Tell us the story about how you met Dr. Sunday and how you've evolved with him since then.
Well, it is. I was doing my own thing, like and then I was, making videos and doing my thing. And basically, I searched also for other videos from other Nigerians, and I thought maybe I could find people who were doing the things I was doing, but funny enough, I couldn't get anyone. Then one day, I think it's about almost 3 months now, and then I got an email from Dr. Sunday, and he introduced himself to me and said, "Oh, this is who I am, and this is what I'm doing," and he likes to contact me to see how to connect with me. And so I saw a bunch of work he has done, and then I looked at it and said, "Oh, this is great, because at last there's somebody who is talking like me." And then there were a lot of work he has done, and it was like what I was doing. And when I listened to him, I said, we seem to have the same ideas about what we would like to see Nigeria to be, and also not just that, but similar ideas on what we think the problems are. Because it's one thing to just want to change something, but if you don't know what the problems are, your solutions are not going to work. And that was really what attracted me to say, okay, let me explore it further. And then we arranged to call each other, and then we call, and then I think the first voice call we made was like 2.5 hours or 3 hours. So we were just talking, expressing, it's like two scientists meet each other and they just expressing joy over the discovery they have made. That was how it was. And from there, the friendship just started. Yeah.
That's interesting, what you just said. You didn't say anything about him being a pastor. You were talking about him being a scientist. It's like two scientists meeting together. Yes. You've been an intellectual, and Pastor Sunday, of course, is an intellectual, but meeting him for the first time, or even hearing his name and knowing who he is, your thought is not even on the pastoral side, it's more on two scientists meeting together.
Yeah, because everybody that have listened to Dr. Sunday knows that he doesn't talk like a regular pastor that we're used to in Nigerian pastors. So when the material that I received from him, what I saw on YouTube, they were just out of this world. The intellectualism that was being expressed, really, zooming into problems and then zooming into the solutions, and also coming out with structures on how to get the solutions implemented. So those were just 3 facets of, problem, solution, and implementation that I was used to in my career. You don't just tell people what the problems are. You need to tell people what the solution is, and then also how to implement the solution. And it's very scientific. It's not just, you don't wake up one day and say, okay, and you go and do that. So it's a scientific mind. And having seen that, you don't see a pastor in Nigeria talking like that. And generally it is so that I don't talk with pastors. Okay. So normally if I get if a famous pastors do contact me, but I don't want to get into a relationship with them because I don't agree with what they are teaching. So, and with Dr. Sunday, I still find it difficult to call him pastor because of from the way I saw him and the way I still see him is that, okay, this is a person who is busy intellectually and not just being religious, dogmatic in his thinking. So, and that kind of clicked because that is who I am. And many people don't know this, but I actually preach religious, dogmatic. I used to preach the Bible as well, but
see, you're making a lot of discoveries.
and but the way the Bible was being taught, it's still being taught in Nigeria. If you can say it's the Bible, it's just religion. I was fed up of that, and a lot of people are fed up of that. So what Dr. Sunday is doing is an illumination. Okay, it's just I just woke up and say, hey, this is where I want to be. This is real. So that was my first impression. Yeah, and since then I've never been disappointed. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you more questions about that, obviously, but I just want to ask Dr. Sunday his side of the story. I know he's here; he's already heard what you said, but he's always have a different view. So I'm going to ask him, Dr. Sunday, how did you encounter Dr. Aroms?
Somebody sent, I don't know, just after one of my regular daily broadcasts, somebody sent a video to me, and the person was saying, oh, listen to this guy. So I watched it, and it was his video on electricity in Nigeria. So then that video prompted me to go search for him on Facebook. So I discovered that he had more videos. So I listened to the videos and the way he was talking. And normally I'm used to Nigerians talking. And I quit listening to Nigerian television. I used to watch channel television, AIT, NTA. I quit. I can't listen to. Nigerians are just talkers. I mean, and they don't talk right. They don't know how to talk, to hold discussion. When they talk, I mean, even the people you call intellectuals, go to, if you want to prove me wrong, go to Channel TV on YouTube, Channel TV. You will see very well-groomed people, you know, young, like me, my age, middle-aged people, groomed, good English. You know, they are coming from London or from America, good, and they are doing interviews all the time. But they are not asking right questions. They are just doing things Nigerian way. I'm sorry. They are not solution focused, and they are not pragmatic. They are just doing television. They are just talking. They are just doing TV. So, and that's all what Nigeria is doing all the time. They're just talking. Even I used to sometimes go and watch sports when Nigeria is playing. Even the sport guys, just to talk sport, they are still talking. You know. I mean, I'm sick. I'm tired of that. I'm just sick and tired, okay? I'm tired and sick, or sick and tired of listening to Nigerians. I can't listen to Nigerians because they are just talking. I'm not even talking about pastors. I'm talking regular Nigerian people. I mean, then they bring all these experts all the time. That's what you see. Go to Nigerian television. They bring all these lawyers and experts and all this. Everybody just talking, arguing, just talking, shouting. No solution-minded people. Not pragmatic enough they cannot move even their own lives forward, talk less of the country forward. And people are sustaining a whole television station just listening to those crap. I'm sorry for that. So for me to listen to this guy and say Dr. Aigbehi, first of all, I was having difficulty pronouncing his name because say Dr. Is it Aroms or Aroms? Aigbehi? You know, so I said, but I mean, he is talking solution. I mean, this is on Nigerian. This is on Nigerian at all, absolutely. I mean, this guy is talking solution. Where is it coming from? What's wrong? There is I found somebody that appeals to my heart, soul of my soul, blood of my blood, bone of my bone. Someone that is profiling solutions. So that 1 week, I watched like maybe 15, 20 of his message. I was watching him every day, twice, 3 times, even though I was busy, but I was still watching. And I just decided to write to him and reach out to him and tell him, you know, because I was not sure he was going to reply me or not, because people are just different, you know, everywhere, like pastors, even people don't, pastors, you write to pastors, they don't even reply you. I mean, there was the same week, I wrote to another guy whose article I had read, one David something. He was really thinking well, and he's criticizing the pastors. And I wrote to him the same kind of letter. I never got a reply to now. I wrote to another one, you know, one Francis something, who was also doing something right. But people are just not responsible. So I will say, I will humble myself. I will write to people. I will reach out to people just with my pure heart. Let them know that if they want, is there anything we could do together? But people get either big in their own eyes, either too pompous, either they are not organized, either they are not, I don't know why they will not reply. I don't even need, I mean, they're not replying to me. And I normally send, because I know that people, they are moved by outward success. So I normally send my biography, the short biography to them, just a little bit, just for them to have an idea of who I am, so that they will not even say I'm fake or I don't deserve to be listened to. But I do deserve to be listened to. Still, they will not reply. So what about if ordinary people who don't deserve to be listened to will write to them? Then here comes Dr. Aroms replied me. Oh, that means this one is a human being, and it's different from the normal people in our place. People, everybody says it's too big to reply. They are too big to reply, or they are too busy to reply, or they don't have time for anybody else. So when he replied, I said, so this man is even a human being, and that also impressed me. And I just saw that. Then he's not just educated intellectually, because that's what I meet all the time in Nigeria, and with Nigerians who are even okay. But not just Nigerians, but a lot of people, they are intellectually okay, they know they know their subject, but they are not emotionally okay. Emotional intelligence is not developed, and they are not they don't know how to know a lot of stuff in their head and still carry themselves as normal human beings. Just be normal human being. Don't be a Superman or a big man. Just be normal human being that one can talk to, anybody can talk to. So people are not well groomed socially like that. People don't have that simplicity, that civilization, I would say. You've got to be civilized enough to be able to talk to anybody, to be able to make anybody feel at home, and not to have some aura about yourself, not to carry some, whatever you call that, some clout around you and say, okay, you're only talking some grammar. For people to be both intellectually intelligent, emotionally intelligent, and socially intelligent, is very rare to combine those three things. So why did we talk for 2.5 hours a day? Because I could talk to him and just be myself, and he was being himself. That's unusual, so I feel very comfortable. For example, there is another guy I'm going to invite here soon. His name is your friend. The guy is doing a great job. I respect him. I even featured him already in our program. The guy that is feeding everybody. What's his name? Dion Osage. Good guy. Now, but with Dion, he's not groomed. He's in America now. I'm sure he's watching now, maybe not. But he's not. It's okay. He has the heart, so we are the same. But I cannot be totally comfortable with him because, for example, I tried to watch his video. I watch his video and I'm okay. I'm comfortable. But when I watch Dion's video, he's cursing sometimes, or he's using some words that boys use, like young guys, because he's so emotional, he's so passionate. So he can use bullshit or something like that. We don't do that. So, but I see that. So there are people, even though I'm with him, I'm going to invite him here. That Dion, it's okay. It's okay. And for him, we're okay. We are partners. We are forever together. But I'm just trying to tell you that somebody for you to zoom in all three aspects. Not just the intellectual level, the social level, the emotional level. That's where I click very well with Dr. Aroms. So I'm just using Dion as an example. For example, he's a good guy, great work, but we're not going to be like really buddies, friends, even though we're going to be colleagues and partners. But he has his own friends. Some people will only follow people like him because he's a young man. But we are like already 50, so we don't use those words. We don't say because we have a course, then use any language kind of thing. Okay, so that's one. I'm saying a lot of things already, but there's another guy that also I want to get. Maybe not. I will not invite him here, but I'm going to work with him one time because he has a heart that, like Dion, he has a good heart. He's a guy they call Vocal Slender. That Vocal Slender was the guy in the story of BBC, Welcome to Lagos, BBC story. So he's a guy that is making it now, but he needs support. So I want to support him. I want to get behind him. I want to really invest in him if possible. So, but I'm not going to be his friend too, like we here. Even though I love him and I'm going to support him, we are going to. But this is another level. I find synergy here. I can talk. We can be the same. He's humble enough to help train my team. He's humble enough to say, okay, call me at any time. He's humble enough to, to not to say, I'm too busy or I will not reply or I will not. He's simple enough to say, I will come down. He's, just human. I mean, you don't find real people in Africa again. Even people with the right heart and the right mind and the right vision and the right something, but they are not all together, put together, you know. For me, I feel like he's exposed. He's been living in Europe. For me, he's having the best of Africa, the best of Europe. He's become very well groomed, manner-wise. You know, I mean, I just see somebody I can call a friend at last. I don't have any friend. I'm just, I have partners more, but not too many friends. But here, I can really call Dr. Aroms someone that I can relate to as a friend, as a colleague. I don't need to put myself under pressure. I don't need to do, you know, I have, for example, another guy that we are working together, Professor Chris in Mafidon, the Smarte family. He's my good friend. He's been here to my house, and, you know, but I'm not going to call him my friend because he's too busy. If you are too busy, you are not going to be my friend, because you cannot be so busy, too busy for human relationship. No matter how busy I am, busy, but you don't become too busy for. But he is too busy, so we're just friends, but not like this.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm flattered.
So I'm just trying to explain to you how I view, and I'm honest. I'm not diplomatic. I'm honest. So I'm just trying to show you that you will see me with a lot of different people, but this on another level, in the sense that even we're just in relationship for a few months, but I'm seeing for the rest of my life this relationship, because of this. But these other people, they will come and go, but here I don't see that happening.
Wow. Hello guys. Oh God, I think that secrets have been shared in those short few minutes that
No offense to the names I mentioned.
No offense. And you know what, this is something that I love about Dr. Sunday. You know, the only person that we thought could really conversate well with Dr. Sunday, I think it's been mentioned before, was Dr. Sunday's youngest daughter, who is Pearl.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad for him also that he has found somebody else, a man that he can talk to, because the rest of us in the house, we're something else. So that's part one. That's one thing, right? But, you know, guys, remember when I started this, I talked about not saying Dr. Aroms. And Dr. Sunday is spot on. You know, I say Dr. Sunday easily because, you know, that's the channel, and I see that in my face all the time. But Aroms, what Dr. Sunday is saying about Aroms in terms of, you know, having the balance in all three angles, social, emotional, and intellectual, he's totally spot on that. You know, and it's easy to conversate with, easy to go to, easy to approach. It's everything, like, all combined. We all notice that. And I've seen some comments as well from some of the HMT delegates, what they've written about Aroms and Dr. Sunday and what they've done. So I'm glad that, you know, the first-hand experience of individuals, not even in this house now, that can give you that. But I've learned a lot of lessons from what I heard from them. Preferring solution, that's one thing, you know, not just talking. And, you know, I also want to say that this is not a Nigerian problem, even though we are Nigerian, and, you know, a lot of people on this channel as well are Nigerian. It's not a Nigerian problem. A lot of people talk, but we don't find solution, and we don't provide solution. So one thing is that you need to provide solution, prefer solution, talk about solution to any problem that you've seen, and provide it. Give us ideas on how that solution can be implemented. And that's exactly what I saw exactly with Dr. Aroms. If I say Aroms, it's not even bothered about it. It's me that I'm bothered. So preferring solution, and also having both balance in the intellectual aspect, in the emotional aspect, and in the social aspect. Those are much, much needed. So we need to cultivate that. So there are other things that was learned here. Please go back and watch this again and again and again, because I learned about 10 lessons altogether, but I don't want to waste time because we've only got an hour, so I don't want to recap, because you can go back and watch this. So first thing, right, guys, please, let's share this so that more people can hear this and more people can share in this knowledge and understanding. I'm going to turn the camera again so that we can continue. We only have an hour, so share, please. Okay, my next question is to either of you, actually, can answer this. It's about now that you've met, you know, I know that you guys, even though from different views, you have the same ideas, the same ideologies, you have this connection, you know, more than just two men. more than intellectual, emotional, physical, everything. You have this connection. But now that you've met, what is the difference from when you were talking on the phone and now you're meeting face to face? What's the difference between that? You know, what have you discovered about each other? And, you know, you want to tell each other, you know.
Well,
Whoa.
yeah. when I, you know, actually, I came in, you know, about, normally when you do your evening shows, 9 o'clock Ukraine time, which is about 8 o'clock Nigerian time. So, you know, the Igor brought me in, Igor works here, and we were saying, he was saying, oh, we just have to sneak through. I said, no, we are not sneaking through, because normally I watch you on live on you know, when I'm at home, and this time, you know, I want to sit down next to you and see you operate, do your thing. So we snuck into the room. So I saw you for the first time real life, and it was like I knew you for years. You know, because it was like, oh, going to an old friend. When I just sat down there, I was watching you. I thought, oh, I know you for years. So it didn't feel like, oh, this is I'm meeting Dr. Sunday for the first time. And you know, one of the things which I think I've told some other people here, I noticed was that Dr. Sunday is even more down to earth than he shows to people online. Because we were, you know, some people have a persona. They show people outside, and inside they have a different persona. So with him, that's not so. Even the persona he showed people outside, that being down to earth, I call it, just a humble man, a Christ-like. That's how it is. It's Christ-like. You know, I don't want to flatter him, but I read a lot about the life of Jesus. And I was always told when I was growing up with my father, you have to be Christ-like, and that was difficult to do because your natural instinct comes out sometime. But when I saw the way he dealt with people, it was Christ-like, especially because I came in for the HMT, so there were a lot of people who came in for the HMT, and in the beginning, some people were a little bit uptight because you just come into a place you are not familiar with, so people kind of, you know, sit down properly. But as we go on, they start to get more loose and more comfortable with the situation because of the way Dr. Sunday makes them feel. So it is how you feel. How does he make you feel as a human being? And by the time some people were crying to leave, they didn't want to go home, you know, because they felt not only that they didn't want to go home, they cried during the HMT. And normally, people don't like to cry when they are being recorded. But in this place, people just, sometimes they cry. You can go and watch the videos on, you know, on YouTube. The people just start crying and break down. It's not because they were being punished, but because of the emotion. Seeing somebody that some people have not felt normal for a very long time, and then seeing somebody that is making you feel like a human being, that was just emotionally too heavy for a lot of people, almost everybody that came. So some try to put on a brave face. But what I see, I mean, for Nigerians, they will recognize it. One important thing I see with Dr. Sunday is that he doesn't command anybody. You see, if you're in Nigeria, you know that I say, you come carry this one. You know, this. People are commanded all the time. So if you are talking with a big man in Nigeria, a big man, a big pastor, a big person, big personality, you're always at your, you know, at the readiness to be commanded. So once the big man sneezes, you jump up. But with him, that was so, everybody that works here, everybody that is a contributor here, just feel at home. Just feel at home. And I said, and I've said, I mean that, I've never been in the congregation of Nigerians all my life, since I'm not a spring chicken anymore. All my life, like I met here, it was so cordial. It was so, people were so responsible, treat each other in a very responsible, very loving way. You know, people were hugging each other. You know, we Nigerians, we are not huggers.
No.
People were hugging each other because people felt so comfortable in doing that. And yeah, that was my impression. In fact, it was more than I expected. The impression was more than I expected. So it was overwhelming, you know. And sometimes I ask myself, how is that possible, you know, to be of such a personality? And that's why the subject of being a personality in the HMT, that, you know, I really absorbed that, because I think that's something that anybody that goes through those training and really absorb it, be willing to learn, be receptive to them, that person will just start transforming. If that is the only thing you listen to and follow it the way it was presented and read the book, you will just start transforming. So those are the things that, and there are a lot more. I can go on for hours, but I don't want to do
that. This is really interesting. I took out a nugget from that, which is Dr. Aroms studied the life of Jesus Christ, and he can use that as a comparison to what he's experiencing and what he's seen in Dr. Sunday's life. And I think we should all do that as well. You know, we can study the life of Jesus Christ to understand and see how a human should behave, how we should behave as well. Because Jesus Christ was here on earth, you know, he did do a lot of things. So if you want to be like Jesus, or you call yourself a Christian, or you just admire Jesus, a lot of people are not Christians, but they admire Jesus, study his life. And then also you can copy what Dr. Sunday is doing and do it, because that's somebody in the flesh that you can see. I know that when I first started, or when I first moved here, I used to call him Pastor Jesus. I used to say all sorts of things, and people used to laugh at me, you know. But I'm getting more used to it now, and hearing other people come in and say the same thing that I used to say, I feel a little bit sane, that I'm not the only one that is saying that, because you know, these are people from different walks of life, and they're here saying the same thing. So number one, study the life of Jesus Christ, and then you can see somebody in human form that is doing the same, which you should also be doing. So I'm going to ask Dr. Sunday the same question. So the question is, right, now that you've met Dr. Aroms, what is he like in terms of from conversation, cyber conversation, on the phone, you know, the connection, speaking for 2 hours? What have you noticed in him that is different? What have you noticed in him that impacts you as a person as well?
First of all, you know, he's the one coming here to my base, so he's the one observing me more and all that. But me, I, you know, picked it up. I got to know who he is just by talking to him, and the only thing is that I didn't know he's much bigger than me from the video, but in real life he's much bigger than me physically. And you know, he's a tall, huge, you know, handsome guy, not like me, small guy. But otherwise, in personality and relationship, I picked up, you know, who he is when we're just talking and relating. For example, you know, I started doing the videos. Before, I was just doing Facebook and YouTube. But because of some of the things, the wisdom he gave me, we started doing Telegram, and which is on SoundCloud. Even though I've heard about SoundCloud, but I was able to take him more serious. In fact, we had a few on SoundCloud, but when he spoke to me, he convinced me. And I was able to, I take his words very, very serious. And so we're able to do that, and that has really given a lot of benefit to a lot of people. So any one of you who is listening by SoundCloud and Telegram, you know who to thank. And then also, you know, what I've discovered is that I'm at peace to a large extent, because, like I said, I'm not going to have, all of us, we're not going to have money problem when it comes to national transformation. But I need people that I can sleep, I can go to sleep on. I can know that they are in charge. If someone is in charge, that's what I've just been thinking since I'm here. That I know that, for example, I didn't even need to go and be watching him do it. I was doing other things. I didn't need to go and say, what is he going to be talking about? Or when he's speaking to the people. I didn't need to do that because I've listened to him so many times and I've spoken to him. I just could trust him. I could just let him go and you manage the whole thing while I go and do other things. So that's the kind of confidence that I have. So, you know, for me, I'm seeing bigger than that. It's just something small, because I'm seeing Nigeria, I'm seeing spheres, I'm seeing ideas. I needed someone who thinks. and someone who thinks solution. So for me, when I'm thinking Nigeria, like I said, I have 100,000 projects, just me. But when it comes on what I believe, what I know, that with his own mind and with his own solution-oriented mindset, and even here in the HMT, look at, maybe you have not heard in what he taught on it. Everything is solution-oriented and is complementary, is adding to, we are talking the same language, but it's more practical from his own perspective, more technical, and those are exactly the kind of people that I needed, and that our project in the future is going to need and require. So, so I am a happy man in the sense that I can, you can only do so much. You need lieutenants, you need partners, you need friends. Okay, like I said, I've mentioned some names today, right? Of people who are doing great job. But, we're just going to be partners with those ones. But with Dr. Aroms, I kind of see myself as being in the same team, and, I just see that, we are going to be in the same, bringing about the transformation of Nigeria in our generation, and the fact that he will come down to be with me, and that we will conduct this HMT together, and that has just shown to me that I'm not mistaken in my perception, and that the impression I have about him is accurately so, and I'm sure all his ideas they are going to even be multiplied, and he's going to be able to. Because a lot of things, I'm going to be producing a lot of ideas, but I kind of have more confidence that he's going to help me break them down, and his own ideas, and even my own idea is going to perfect them and help bring all these things to implementation and to realization. So the fact that I just find a brother, a partner, a friend, someone that like-minded person. So, I have absolute peace and confidence that God has blessed me. And we need, thousands of people like this if to go forward. But I personally just need 10 people like this. And then we are going to be able to produce people like us as we go on.
Wow, this is really interesting. I think I'm going to have Dr. Aroms say something about what Dr. Sunday just said, because Dr. Sunday said that because he's coming to his own territory, it was easier for him. So in terms of observation, his observation. Yes, he has a lot more to see. So if he had gone to him, he would be the one seeing different things from. Yeah, so that's interesting, guys. And one thing I got out of this, especially for those of you out there that are interested in Nigerian transformation project, is to take a leaf out of this. Dr. Sonny mentioned that he's with somebody that he can just go to sleep on, without worrying. And it's very hard, and that's a very good description. It's very hard to find people like that. So if you're somebody like that, and you're out there, that you can be trusted, you have solutions, and you will get on with things, then you're one of the people that we need for the Nigerian Transformation Project, and also the core group of people that will work with Dr. Sunday. And guys, you can go on sundayadelajablog.com/Nigeria to find out more information. There are 2 forms on there about Nigerian Transformation Project. I'm going to move on nicely to the Nigerian Transformation Project, but please share this, because I'm going to leave the next few minutes with Dr. Sunday and Aroms to discuss the Nigerian Transformation Project, where they're coming from, what they see about Nigeria together, as men talk. I think sometimes we say that women are the one that talk, but men also talk, and that was my title, Men Talk and What Men Talk About. So let's listen to what they've got to say about Nigerian Transformation Project. So go now and invite as many people as possible. You can invite somebody by tagging which is the same symbol you use for your email, and the person's name without any space. And sometimes Facebook would also populate names for you. You can also share onto your page, or you can invite people individually, and also share with groups as well, so that you can go onto groups and other people will be able to see this later, if not immediately now. So I just want the men to talk about Nigerian Transformation Project. They moved nicely onto that. Somebody that Dr. Sunday can go to sleep on, because that Dr. Sunday's heart is in Nigeria now, is interested in transforming Nigeria. Most of us are interested in transforming Nigeria, and they found each other, Dr. Sunday and Dr. Aroms. They both preferring solutions to these issues, to challenges that we have in Nigeria, and they're both here together. So they can talk about it. I think that it would be great to hear them, what they have planned. Some of Dr. Sunday's plan already, but what the nitty-gritty of it, as men, as somebody that are connected, they have connection together in various ways that they've explained: physical, emotional, intellectual, social. They've explained that, and also they've explained that, Dr. Sunday just explained that he can go to sleep on. So that's about integrity as well, trusting somebody to just leave them to get on with what they need to do. So I think you should take a notepad, or even if you can record it. But you don't have to record it, because we would leave it onto Facebook, and it would be on YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official, later on. So sit down, relax. I just want to hear the Nigerian Transformation Project. I want to hear where they both coming from, which angle, what they've done already, because I know Dr. Aroms have done things with Nigeria already. And from that angle...
You ask him a question, you didn't allow him to talk, just keep on talking.
No, I'm going to give him...
He wanted to hear what he wanted to say about what I said. So let him answer, then you come through with the next question.
Yes.
I beg you.
Guys, did you hear that? These are the things that I love about Dr. Sunday. You learn immediately here. Yes, but I want to tell them so that they can learn as well. Okay, I want you also to learn. I can be here learning, but I also want other people to learn. I asked a question after Dr. Sunday spoke. I said that I would like Dr. Aroms to respond to that question, and then I went on talking and going on, and then I asked another question without him asking that question. So he quickly told me, even if he's jokingly. So I'm going to move on now. All right. Okay, Dr. Aroms.
Yeah. Thank you very much. See, that's how we walk. Because there's a lot of laughter. That's why, because people don't know that. People walk here till like 2 a.m. And the next day everybody will be back again. So because of the laughter, you don't know that the time is flying. So that's what it is. So what he's just said, yeah, of course, I'm flattered, honestly, because he's a great man. I see him as a very great man. Especially seeing what he has done in Ukraine is very, very impressive, and I think that people who are watching Dr. Sunday online, they have not seen or heard maybe 10% of what he has done. Really, that is true. I'm going to be doing an expose on this stuff, because a lot of people just don't know, because he doesn't blow his own horn, so somebody has to blow it for him. Seeing such a person, giving such a great compliment about you is very flattering. But what he said about when he was, he invited me for the HMT, so I came, and then I keep asking, what am I going to talk about? I said, just do your thing, I said, okay, just do my thing. So, but funny enough, interestingly enough, what I prepared already, that was where he was going, what he was talking about. So, and I remember, so after just seeing his presentation, so I just locked my presentation in right then. So he would just do another one, I would lock my presentation in. And once, I think it was the second time I was telling people, you can see it on video, I said, look, I didn't speak with Dr. Sunday about this presentation, but you're going to hear me talking almost like him. And that was so. So I was telling people on how, we were talking about personality. So that was it. Okay, how do you brand your personality? So you just go on. So the presentation, we are interlocking, and yet we were not having the boardroom meeting about it. So that is just brilliant. That is just, so it's like two great minds working together on the same project. And I like that. That synergy, I like that very much, because somebody, it's like you know each other for a very long time, that, he can just keep saying something and my brain will fire to the same side, or I will say something, his brain will fire to the same, to the same direction. So, and there will be an interlocking ideas and implementations, and that is great. It's not often you find that. Personally, I've never found that, person that can relate to on that level. Yeah. So that's on both sides very the same, feelings.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I see some of you have been very mean to me after Dr. Sunday commented, but that's okay. Did you hear that? Synergy, interlocking, those are the keys there. They are together, they work together, the ideas, they have the synergy to work together perfectly. So, I want to talk about Nigerian Transformation Project now, and, where you're coming from with that. What you've heard, Dr. Sunday, I'm not sure if it's the first time that you saw Dr. Sunday's presentation. Yeah. Oh, it's the first time, okay. The first time seeing Dr. Sunday's presentation on Nigerian Transformation Project. I really particularly want to hear from you, Dr. Aroms. What are your thoughts on this project?
Well, it was overwhelming to start because, we talk about solutions and talked about different solutions and how we can bring life back into Nigeria. And this is the first holistic plan on transformation that I've ever come across. Because this, when I say holistic, it's like, it's like politician talks about plans and say we have 2020, I think it was 2020 they were going to eliminate hunger, reduce poverty. So now we are 2017. So there was this high-profile documents, they call vision. This is where they want to go. But it was never broken down into, very specific lower-level plans and implementations. So what we're going to do, this is how we're going to start. We're going to build a hospital in every local government. And then how are we going to get the nurses and the doctors? We are going to bring them from that country to train our people and supplement what we have. How are we going to pay them? We're going to do it, get the money from here. Now, we go into agriculture. So we need to feed people. We need to feed 1 million people. How do we get the food? We're going to make a large farm. But where do we place the farm? We're going to go to that state to negotiate for land. Who is going to help us do that? We're going to go to that country and get some agriculture experts. So that is detail. It's just putting in little detail. So if you look at the plan, it is not just a high-level plan. This is an implementation plan. So that after that, you just have boxes. And then you bring some experts, you put them in the boxes. It's okay, you go and do that. You're good in that. You're good in that. You're good in that. And that's the type of things I love. So when I was reading in Nigeria a few months back, I think it was last year, I was reading about the government agricultural policy of Nigeria. So you read it from beginning to the end. It is all, just go on and on and on. Yeah, grammar. And at the end of the document, you still don't know what we're going to do. So the Nigerian transformation plan is just like, we talk about agriculture, but we're talking about specific items in those agriculture. We're talking about, we have livestock. We're talking about grains. We're talking about that. We're talking about that. We're talking about, educating people in the agri sector. What type of education do they need? How are we going to fill it in? And most importantly, one thing that we have discovered is that just sending people to school is not going to solve the problem, because we have a lot of people who are in schools in Nigeria, but what we really need is skills. A lot of people don't have skills in Nigeria, because you don't really go to university to learn how to drive a tractor, for example. But it's a skill, it's a unique skill. Yeah. So when you don't teach people that, they are never going to be able to implement that skills. And one thing is very important about skills. One person can have 20, 30 different skills. It's only in Nigeria, they say, the man a tractor driver. So the only thing he does is drive a tractor. But if you come to Europe or America, one man can be driving a tractor, he can be operating a crane, he can be operating a big truck. That just has skills. So there's different skill set. What the Nigerian Transformation Program does is to develop plans on how to teach people these skills, provide these skills to people. so that people can be multi-skilled. And when you have people who are multi-skilled, they trust their judgment better, they're more confident in what they do, and then all these plans can be implemented. So it is like 0 to A to Z in one plan. So that's what they mean by holistic plan. It's not just one big grammar, but that is very well. That means the plan is complete and accurate, and would meet it would respond accurately to the problem at hand that needs to be solved.
Yeah. That answer is quite precise. I love it. Guys, holistic. So covering every area. And I know with this, you know already, Dr. Sunday is also dealing with the intellect, in the mind. You know, the people's mind, their value system, how they believe, and also their skill set. So it's not just one angle, like Dr. Aroms said, it's holistic. So as well as having all the grassroots information, all the plans to get everything done in every area of Nigeria, is also helping us with our mind, and you know about its value systems, you know how much it cherishes integrity. So go to Sunday Adelaja Official on YouTube. You will find the Nigerian Transformation Project presentation on there. If you want more information, you can also go to sundayadelajablog.com/Nigeria, where you will find forms there that you can complete if you want to join the transformation project. I still want to ask more questions to Aroms about this. I know Dr. Sunday is here already. Dr. Sunday first, though, I want to find out from what Aroms have said, what are the things that you want to share regarding what he said, and how you put the plans together, how you put the plans, and why you chose to be very holistic. You know, he said himself, and many people know, we have never met anyone. I have never met anyone that has everything together holistically, including the mind as well, not just with skill sets, but with the mental capacity of the individual. So is there something you want to say briefly? Because I want this more on Aroms.
Those are just what I shared was just those are just technicalities. Those are just what ordinary people will understand, what you could easily communicate. But for example, I didn't share things like, how we are going to create a new Nigerian, and every Nigerian to be unique and specific, to be different, to become the kind of people that we see in Europe and America, and better than them. How are we going to create a superior race of people, a superior group of people, a superior Nigeria, a system? So there's a system, a different system for that one. And then there's a system for how we're going to create a people of virtues, so that we'll become a people of virtues, other countries will be fighting to have. So that's a whole system, another system for that one. So I'm not talking about those other, and then what I'm doing right now, that we have to enlighten the mind of the people, awaken their minds, try to let them know that it's all about value system, waking them up. And, those are just what I'm doing right now. People see me on Facebook, and they think that's who I am, that's all I am. Well, I guess that's where God wants me to be right now, and that's what He wants me to do. So I do what I can do, I say what I need to say because I think, I give out what I can give. But I have other plans that will relate to, for example, how to rebuild cities, our cities, all those, the capacitated, or what do I call it? Decapitated, dilapidated, cities that we have, that we call cities. I mean, they are disgraced. They are not even 19th century or 14th century Europe cities. They are like this. We don't have any cities. Abuja is close, but all other places, they are villages. They are glorified villages. Talk about Benin City, talk about Ibadan, talk about Lagos. I mean, they are disgraced to the race. So I have concepts on how to rebuild those cities, and so that is another plan, for example. So I'm not going into many things. Okay, for example, how to build an industry, pharmaceutical industry that will lead the world, and that will be better than, that will give solution to the medicinal problems of the world. That's a whole complex, something that will, that is a different plan. And I didn't touch on, for example, how to revive the economy, just revamp the economy. I didn't talk about that. Even though I have a book on that. So that's a whole different presentation and a whole different plan. Okay, for example, how I'm going to create 10,000 millionaires. That's a whole different plan as well, which I didn't touch. I didn't talk about how I'm going to work with the elite in the country, the aristocracy that we're having, and change their mindset and make them to how to use them in the process of transformation. That's a whole different strategy and plan that I didn't go to touch on. I didn't talk about how I'm going to use and maximize the Nigerian diaspora as a different technology and a different system as well. I didn't talk also about the plan and the way I want to work with the billionaires that we have right now. And I didn't talk about my plans for the whole of Africa. That's a different plan as well. I didn't talk about, so I have different plans. But this one is just at least for people to know that I know what I'm talking about. But I don't want to overload them with different things because I don't want to overwhelm them. But since I know what I want to do, I don't care if people understand or people don't understand. Or they might not. They don't need to understand. They have the right to be doubting, and they have the right to say, "I'm just talking, or I'm just bragging. I don't know what I'm talking about." But I have that little thing. That's just preliminary plan to let people know. People who think like him, he knows that anybody who can come up with something like this, he knows what he's doing. So it's for people who can think. For other people who want to keep abusing me, they call all kinds of names, okay? But they've not seen what I've done in Ukraine. For a country, for a group of people, a foreigner in a country, to control 34% of the parliament of this federal capital city, capital. You are not totally a fool to be able to do that. To be able to have three political parties started, three political parties in a nation, and you might not. To have the president of the Supreme Court coming from a country, and to control the National Assembly a fraction, and all kind of things like to have over 500 people of your members in different government officials and offices. You must have some systems in place. So, but like I said, I will not be blowing my own horn because I'm just a down-to-earth guy. I'm just doing quiet unless you ask me or we talk and our conversation goes in that direction. Then maybe I'll be forced to mention one thing or the other. But I'm writing books, and if anybody asks me a question, I'm going to answer. But I'm just happy that at least God is hearing my prayer. God is having mercy on me. He's making me to meet people like him, like Dr. Aroms, that can, even from little things, get an idea, and then he knows that, what is behind it is much more. It's like an iceberg. Whenever you see a meter of iceberg there, you have like 100 or 50 meters down. So, it's the same thing here. And that's why I appreciate Otumba as well. He's an older gentleman, but he could see something. And let's pray that God will give us. I don't want to talk to ordinary people who want to abuse and call me names. I just want to go to Nigeria. I want God to give me the opportunity and give me the grace, long life, to be able to demonstrate what He has prepared me to do. He is His glory because He's prepared me to be able to know these things. And so, what He has trained me to do, I will be able to just go and do it. I don't want to convince anybody. I don't want to argue with anyone. I'm just going to believe God that God will release me when the time comes for Him, and I'm just going to be able to demonstrate what I can do.
Wow. Guys, it's almost over for this evening. We're coming back again for this program, actually, not this evening. Dr. Sunday will come back in an hour. But before I go, I'm still going to take a few more minutes. Number one, guys, don't forget, when Dr. Aroms started this last segment of question, he said that, Dr. Sunday, you've only seen 10% of what he has, and also that it's very holistic. So that 10% is holistic. And Then Dr. Sunday started, and he's shared other areas that he hasn't even spoken about, that is just giving like a framework, and he mentioned many areas. You can go back and watch this later on. So one thing I just want to say, because of time, is that don't let us all watch and say, okay, let's see what's going to happen. Let's see how he's going to do it. I'll watch if he's doing it well, or if everything is going to a standard, then I'll join. I want to see what he's doing before I do that. I remember a quote, or should I say sentence, that Dr. Aroms shared with us the first week we had a meeting together, that Nigerians have this mentality of watch me fail. So we would say, don't watch me fail. I would say, don't watch me fail. Don't let us all watch each other fail and say, okay, if he's not failing, then I will join.
I want them to watch me fail.
Yes, Dr. Sunday is saying that he wants you to watch him fail, but I don't want us to
Because
watch
I want them
him.
to fail anyway.
Yes.
But I want them to be expecting my failure.
Yes.
So let them be watching.
Okay, guys, I'm going to turn the camera. Yes, I am
Yeah.
going to talk to Dr. Aroms first. But please, guys, this is just a plea from me, from Mayowa. Don't watch me fail. Don't let us watch each other fail. Let's at least start something in our own area, in our own capacity. Let's do something. Don't let us watch each other fail at all in any areas. So I'm going to turn the camera. I'm going to have Dr. Aroms have the last sentence. I'll just come back and say bye to you guys so that we can get ready for the next program. But I appreciate you all for joining us. So Dr. Aroms, please answer more questions about Nigerian transformation. What are your thoughts, especially when you've had Dr. Sunday again with more information on his plans?
Well, my thoughts are that of excitement. At last there's a partner you can work with to, bring a vision forward. Because I have vision for Nigeria, and it's the vision he has as well. Even he can take it more into the stratosphere. But when I see Nigeria, I don't see the mess. I always say to people, I have a hologram. Okay, I project it over Nigeria. That's what I see. So that hologram is what he's talking about. That hologram of revamping these dilapidated cities, make it normal that people can live there. People can live in comfort where you don't have major crimes anymore because the city is a better living condition. People can eat 3 square meals a day. Schools that I can go and lecture and people will be receptive, people will be able to understand what you're talking about, that they are mentally groomed, that they can understand what you're talking about. This is a Nigeria that I look forward to. This is the only plan since Nigeria was created that is specific towards doing that. So that is why it is, excitement is just a word that cannot describe the magnitude of the feeling when you hear this type of plans. It's revolutionary. That's why we call it transformation. Because it's really going to transform every aspect of the Nigerian society and the people. Once you have done that, then you have a new nation. And that's a new nation people have always been praying for and not doing that much for it. But now, with hard work and inspirational leader, this new Nigeria can actually be achieved. And I can tell you this, once that is done, and even in that process, the millions of Nigerians today who are in diaspora, who are stuck in the diaspora because they cannot go home, they will start coming back. Okay? So by the time you have 5-10 million people start coming back home, and a lot of foreigners who are not getting visas to come to Nigeria, and the system will just, explode in development. So that is why I say excitement is just understatement. When you say I'm excited about it, it has to be a more bigger word. I have to look for it in dictionary. Yeah.
Okay, on that note, guys, excitement is just an understatement of what is yet to come. So I look forward to everything, and I look forward to you guys also joining us in all of these projects, the Nigerian Transformation Project and other projects that will come before that. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. We will be back. Dr. Sunday will continue shortly. And before we go, actually, Dr. Sunday, I've got his books on Nigeria. So we're going to just have a look at each one.
Yes. Just get these books to be a taster for you people so that you will know what is coming. This is called How to Make Nigeria the Greatest Country in the World. Now, it's not the technology, it's It's not the strategy that is going to be here. It's going to be about you knowing that it's possible. It's just waking you up, wake up call. Yes. Another one I have here, which is similar to that, and which you would definitely like to read, is, and these things will convince you, you will be a believer soon that Nigeria could become better. It's how the Nigerian economy can overtake the American economy. So this is another book that will help you to just become excited about your country. All about Africa in general. Then this is my fundamental book about the fundamental solutions that I have for Nigeria. I talk about the history of Nigeria first, just to let people know. And before I began to, there are 2 parts. This book is in 3 parts. You know, the first part is about the proper country solution, all that. Anyway, you go and get it. It's Nigeria and the leadership question. They are all on Amazon and on Okada books. And then the Nigeria economy, these are people who really are interested in the economy. Economy is a big deal for, you know, without that you cannot, but through this book you will know that easy, Nigeria can become the top 10 economy if the only things that are here are implemented. Then this is another, in fact, we have to give this book to Otumba and to Dr. Aroms, because this one here is a book that tells us that let's stop praying. Let's stop praying and start doing things. Only God can save Nigeria. What a myth. So this is important also for us to know. So those are the few books I've written about Nigeria. I plan to write another 100 books about Nigeria before I go, before I leave here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, guys, Dr. Sunday will be back shortly, in less than an hour, so we'll see you then. Take care. Bye.